Good morning and welcome to our science class. This is Miss Cruz speaking, and let me remember that the day it's Monday, April 27, and the year is 2020. Make sure that you have your book if it's possible, your notebook, your pencil, and all the materials that you will need to complete the class for today. Let's get ready for the class. Page number 2, titled Unit 1, What will happen if we don't protect our ecosystems? Subtitle, Cells. Do you have a definition for the word cells? Do you have any idea what a cell is? Okay, here I have one. A cell is the most fundamental structure of a living things. Now, when we talk about cells, you have to remember that living things have two types of cells. One of them is unicellular. As the word unicellular means that it only has one cell, unicellular. Okay, it means that it's only have one cell. Now, the other type of living things that we are going to talk today is going to be multicellular. After word say multi, it means many cellulars or many cells. Living things are made up of many cells. So remember, living things are made up of one cell or are made up of many cells. Now, plants and animal cells are different. Even when they belong to the same organism, cells can differ in structures and functions. What is going to be the objective of this class? The objective of this class is going to be that you will be able to recognize the varieties of living organisms on air and explain the importance of biodiversity. This is the purpose of this class, that you can be able to recognize a living thing that is living on air and that you can explain the importance of the biodiversity. Now, let's move to the next page, please. Page number 3. Why is biodiversity important? It's a question and it's the title for this page. Biodiversity, what is the definition? What do you think about when you hear the word biodiversity? Well, here I have the definition for you. The great variety of species or groups of plants, animals, and microorganisms that live in an ecosystem. And here I have a chart for you. Remember that we were talking on the previous page about living things? We said that living things can be unicellular and multicellular. Okay, here we have a living things, and then we have the word animals. Butterfly, tiger, fish, toucan, duck. Then on the next column we have living things, plants, trees with sunflower, fruit, and vegetables. So here, this part right here, we talk about living things, things that have cells, things that are alive. Then we move to the last column, non-living things, sand, clouds, light, roads, and air. Non-living thing, that's the title of this column. When you see the word non before living, it means that the word it means that not live. So the thing that we mention on this column, they do not live. They do not have cells, but they are very important part of the ecosystems because we need air for life. We need the sun. We need the light. They are important, but they are not living things like the animals, like the plants. So, but all of these things, it's part of a ecosystem, and this is the diversity or the biodiversity that we were talking about on this page. Page number 4. What's all the false about life? Let's start and find out the definition for life. According with what we have here, it's a very complex, but we can say that life is the existence of an individual, human beings, or animals. Another definition is life is the condition that distinguishes animals and plants from inorganic matters, including the capacity for growth, reproduction, functional activity, and continued change preceding death. So that is the definition of life. It's what we are doing now. It's what we are, what is happening to all living things now. Is the existence of a human beings. Is the existence of an animal and plants. Now, even scientists find very difficult to agree on a specific list of characteristics to describe life. However, there are certain similarities that all living things share. It means that the living things have certain similarities that they can share. And here we are going to discuss about what similarities we share. We know, for example, that all living things are made of one more cells. Other characteristics that living things have are reproduction, metabolism, growth, development, irritability, and movement. Okay, so one of the things that we share is that all living things have cells. Can be only one or can be more than one. Can be unicellular or multicellular. Now, other characteristic that we share, that all living things shares, is that we have the process that we call reproduction. And we have metabolism, growth, we have the development process, irritability, and movement. Now let's talk about reproduction. Reproduction refers to the capacity of an organism to reproduce another organism of the same time, which is essential for the survival of a species. If there is no reproduction, the species sooner or later will disappear. That's why reproduction is very important for the survival of a species. But metabolism is essential for the survival of a single cell. So it's important that all these characteristics can be developed in a human being, because if this doesn't happen, sooner or later the species will disappear. Let's continue reading, please. This means that all living things use energy from the environment as a form of nutrition. All the environment, all the ecosystem is very important, because the living things, the humans, the animals, and the plants, which are the living things, we use energy from the environment. That's why it's very important that we keep a safe environment. Also, all living things present irritability or the ability to react to their environment, such as to change in temperature or other stimuli. So there are, however, more disagreement about scientists. There are microbes that scientists don't agree, or whether there are living things or no. These are called viruses. Viruses don't have cells. They are acellular. They depend on living organism called hosts to grow and multiply. So viruses are acellular. It means that they don't have cellular, but they need a living thing, or they need a organism, and that is called a host. So we have to think about this kind of situation, because it's not easy for us to understand how can we human beings become a host of a viruses. Okay, now we have to think about that, but we have to continue with the lesson. Page number 5, living things. And here we are going to talk about the difference between unicellular and multicellular. Now, let's read what we have here on the screen. Organisms. Unicellular organisms. Organisms that only have a single cell. And we have here the example are amoeba, bacteria, and paramecium. And there you have the picture of each one of them. Then let's go to the other side. Multicellular organisms. Organisms consist of many cells, plants, and animals. Okay, now let's talk about this screen. Unicellular and multicellular can have similarities, but they also have difference. One of the difference is that the unicellular, the short lifespan, and the multicellular has longer lifespan. That is a difference. There is another one. All functions are carried out by the organelles of the single cells, but multicellular has specific functions for different cells. Unicellular, the simple body constructions, because it is only one single cell, and multicellular, complex organization. So those are the difference between a unicellular organism and a multicellular organism. And here, when you see this page, you can see that there is a huge difference between one and the other. Look, the complex of the body for the multicellular, and look how simple the body complex is for a unicellular. Okay, so remember, living things can be unicellular or multicellular. When we talk about amoeba, bacteria, we're talking about unicellulars. But when we talk about plants and animals and human beings, we're talking about multicellulars. So The conclusion is that human beings, living things, like plants and animals, are multicellular. Our body has a multicellular organism. Finally, we are on page number 6. Now, these are the instructions for your homework. Study the information. Make sure that you understand the video. And if you don't understand, please let me know. Send me an audio, give me a call. But I have to know if you have any difficulty with this lesson. Okay, then you are going to copy page number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5 in your notebook. And the rest of the homework is going to be that you need to draw the human cells in your notebook. And here I have for you on this page an example of a human cells. Please draw, use colors, use marker, use the parts that you have right here, or the parts that you have. Please label it. Make sure that your work is neat and tidy. And like always says, I will see you soon. And stay healthy. Pray every day to Jesus and ask for protections. And thank you for paying attention to this class, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.